We're in Tijuana, Mexico at sunrise, ready for a classic adventure. At Estacion Garcia, excitement fills the air as families and travelers gather for the Tijuana Tecate train. The vintage train, painted in bright colors, waits on the tracks. Laughter and anticipation mix with the hum of the engine. We board, find our seats, and the city slips away as our journey begins. With a blast of the horn, we're off. The Tijuana Tecate train lurches forward, leaving the city behind. Out the window, Tijuana's colorful neighborhoods fade into Baja California's wild hills. Inside, passengers settle in, music drifts through the car, and the journey feels like a rolling celebration. The adventure has truly begun. So, as we're rolling along, let's talk about this railroad, because it's not just some random track. This thing has a story, a big one. This line we're on is actually a piece of a much larger, much more ambitious project, the San Diego and Arizona Railway. They called it the Impossible Railroad. And for good reason. It was built over 100 years ago, completed back in 1919. The idea was to connect San Diego directly to the eastern rail networks, but the terrain between them was brutal. Mountains, deserts, canyons, you name it. Building a railroad through it seemed completely insane. But they did it anyway. A true feat of engineering and sheer willpower. The route they chose was the most direct, but it came with a huge catch. It had to dip down into Mexico for about 44 miles to bypass some of the most impossible canyons on the US side. That's the section we are riding on right now. This stretch from Tijuana to Tecate was a critical link in that international line. Imagine the politics, the logistics, the challenges of building a US railroad through another country back in the early 1900s, especially during the Mexican Revolution. It's a wild story of perseverance. The line was plagued by floods, tunnel collapses, and bandits, but somehow, they pushed through and finished it. Looking out the window at this rugged landscape, you can really appreciate what those early engineers and workers accomplished. They didn't have the massive machinery we have today. This was built with dynamite, pickaxes, and pure human muscle. Every single foot of this track represents an incredible amount of effort. For decades, this line was a vital commercial artery, hauling passengers and freight, connecting San Diego to the rest of the country in a way that changed its future. It's humbling to think we are traveling on the same path that has seen so much history unfold over the last century. Now, of course, things are different. The original cross-border freight line has faced its share of challenges over the years, with sections falling into disuse. But this beautiful stretch to Tecate, has been reborn. It's been revived as a tourist train, giving people like us a chance to experience a piece of that epic history. It's no longer about commerce, it's about connection. Connecting with the past, with the landscape, and with the unique culture of this border region. We aren't just on a train ride, we're riding on the legacy of the Impossible Railroad, and that makes this journey feel even more significant. The train horn blares again, a deep, resonant sound that echoes off the hills. We are definitely clear of the city now. The last of the graffiti-covered walls and industrial buildings have melted away, replaced by an open, expansive landscape. The view from the window is completely different than it was just 30 minutes ago. We're in the real Baja California countryside. The scenery is rugged and beautiful in its own way. It's not lush and green. It's a palette of browns, tans, and dusty greens. The hills roll on, dotted with hardy desert plants like agave and cholla cacti. It feels like we've entered another world entirely. The train is chugging along at a steady, unhurried pace. This isn't a bullet train, and that's the whole point. The slow speed lets you soak everything in. You can actually see the details of the landscape, the way the light hits the rocks, the occasional hawk circling high above. We're passing through small, remote communities that seem to exist in their own bubble of time, far from the rush of the city. Little houses with tin roofs, a few dogs barking at the passing train, clothes drying on a line. It's a raw, unfiltered glimpse into a different way of life, one that moves at the speed of this old train. I'm walking through the cars, just trying to capture the vibe. Everyone is still buzzing. The initial excitement of departure has settled into a comfortable, shared experience. People are leaning back in their seats, windows wide open, letting the warm, dry air blow through the car. The live music is still playing, a perfect, mellow soundtrack for the scenery outside. It's moments like these that I live for. Simple, authentic, and completely in the moment. No distractions, no notifications, just the rhythm of the train and the endless rolling hills passing by the window. This is what real travel feels like. Every so often the train track runs parallel to a dusty, unpaved road. We see an old pickup truck kicking up a cloud of dust as it bounces along, and the driver gives us a friendly wave. There's a sense of camaraderie out here. We're all just travelers making our way through this vast open space. The journey itself is becoming the destination. We're not just trying to get to Tecate, we're enjoying every single mile of the ride. The slow, deliberate departure from the city has given way to a peaceful immersion in nature, and there's still so much more to see ahead. As we get deeper into the journey, the onboard experience really comes to life. This isn't just about looking out the window. The crew starts coming through the aisles with snacks and drinks. We're talking classic Mexican treats. They've got bags of chips with hot sauce and lime, sweetbread, and cold sodas. It's simple, it's delicious, and it adds another layer to the whole adventure. People are munching away, sharing with their seatmates. The atmosphere feels like a family picnic on wheels. It's this kind of thoughtful local touch that makes the trip feel so special, and not like some generic corporate tour. The musicians are making their way through each car now, making sure everyone gets a private concert. They're playing classic ranchera songs, and some people are starting to sing along. A couple in the corner even gets up and starts dancing in the aisle. You can't help but smile. The energy is just so positive and infectious. This is what it's all about, people coming together to have a good time. The train provides the platform, but it's the people, the music, and the shared joy that truly make the experience what it is. It's a rolling fiesta, and everyone is invited to join in the fun. You see kids with their faces pressed against the glass, pointing at every little thing they see. A horse grazing in a field, a strange-looking rock formation, the shadow of the train stretching across the land. For them, this is a massive adventure, a story they'll be telling for weeks. And it's not just the kids. I see adults with that same look of wonder in their eyes. This trip has a way of stripping away the cynicism and reminding you of the simple joy of discovery. It's a chance to disconnect from the daily grind and just be present, to enjoy the ride for what it is. The train itself feels like a living character in this story. You can hear the creaks and groans of the old cars, the rhythmic click-clack of the wheels on the rails. It's a constant, comforting sound. The conductor walks through, a friendly, authoritative figure answering questions and sharing little tidbits about the route. He points out an old, abandoned water tower up ahead, a relic from the steam engine era. These little details bring the history of the line to life, connecting the past with the present. We're not just passengers, we're part of the ongoing story of this historic railroad. Traveling this historic rail line, you feel the weight of the past all around you. The hand-carved tunnels, century-old bridges, and ancient landscapes tell stories of audacity and endurance. Out here, disconnected from the modern world, you're fully present, part of a living, moving museum. And the best parts are still to come. The Tijuana Tecate train isn't just a ride, it's a rolling fiesta. The moment you leave the city, the mood shifts, snacks and drinks flow, musicians fill the cars with lively norteño and ranchera tunes, and everyone joins in. Staff and passengers laugh, dance, and celebrate together. It's a moving party you'll never forget. On the Tijuana Tecate train, there's a vibe for everyone. Whether you're in the middle of the music, quietly watching the Baja landscape, or capturing moments with your camera, you'll find your place here. The partiers, the romantics, the families, the adventurers, everyone's welcome. It's a rare, inclusive journey where you can make it your own. About an hour in, I'm completely sold. The energy, the scenery, the authenticity, this is the adventure I crave. The train hugs the mountains, the landscape grows more dramatic, and every moment feels magical. We're rolling through Baja California not just as passengers but as part of a moving celebration, and the best is yet to come. Okay, so we've left the last signs of civilization far behind us. The landscape has officially shifted from rugged hills to something more dramatic. We're entering a wilder, more remote part of the journey. The train is climbing now, a slow and steady ascent into higher elevations. You can feel the engine working a little harder, the rhythmic chugging becoming more pronounced. We're talking deep canyons, sheer rock faces, and vast empty valleys that stretch out as far as the eye can see. This is the part of the trip where you really feel the isolation. There are no roads, no houses, just the single ribbon of steel track guiding us through the immense wilderness. The scrubby bushes are giving way to more dramatic flora. We're seeing larger, more sculptural cacti like the carden, which look like giant candelabras reaching for the sky. There are also these gnarled, twisted oak trees clinging to the hillsides, their shapes telling a story of survival against the wind and the dry seasons. It's a harsh environment, but it's incredibly beautiful in its starkness. The colors are all earth tones, ochre, terracotta, deep browns, all set against a brilliant cloudless blue sky. It's a photographer's dream, and I'm just trying to soak it all in, to capture the scale of it all. The train snakes along the contours of the land, hugging the mountainsides. On one side you have a solid wall of rock just inches from the window. On the other, a dizzying drop into a canyon below. It's a thrilling ride. You get a real appreciation for the daredevil engineers who first surveyed this route. They had to find a way through this seemingly impassable terrain, and they did it with incredible skill. We cross over several high trestle bridges, their wooden beams creaking under the weight of the train. Looking down through the ties, you can see the canyon floor hundreds of feet below. It's a little nerve-wracking, but mostly it's just awe-inspiring. Inside the train, a hush has fallen over many of the passengers. The party vibe has mellowed, replaced by a shared sense of wonder. People are glued to their windows, their phones out, snapping pictures of the breathtaking vistas. You can hear quiet gasps of wow and mira as we round another bend to reveal an even more spectacular view. This is the scenic heart of the journey, the part that everyone talks about. The train is no longer just a mode of transport, it has become a moving viewing platform, offering us a front-row seat to one of the most stunning and inaccessible landscapes in Baja California. This is raw nature, unfiltered and magnificent. As we wind through the mountains, the conductor points out a deep canyon, sister to the legendary Carrizo Gorge, home to the Impossible Railroad and its massive wooden trestle. Our route skirts the worst of the gorge, but the landscape's raw power is everywhere. Looking out at the cliffs, you feel the ghosts of those who built this line, true pioneers, battling nature every day. The journey is a living monument to perseverance, the gorge's wild beauty, the story's main character. After the dramatic canyons, the landscape opens into sweeping valleys. Suddenly, a shimmering blue expanse appears, El Carrizo Reservoir, a stunning oasis in the desert. The train slows, hugging the reservoir's edge, offering panoramic views of water against rugged hills. This vital water source for Tijuana is a symbol of resilience and tranquility before we continue to Tecate. Leaving the beautiful shores of the reservoir behind, the train picks up a little more speed. The landscape changes once again. The terrain becomes flatter, more pastoral. We start to see signs of agriculture. There are small ranches nestled in the valleys, with cattle and horses grazing peacefully in fenced-in fields. We pass by olive groves and vineyards, their neat rows a stark contrast to the wild, untamed nature we saw earlier. This is the agricultural heartland of the region, and it signals that we are getting closer to civilization, closer to our destination. The air feels different too, carrying the scent of dust and livestock and fertile earth. The character of the journey shifts into its final phase. The sense of remote isolation begins to fade, replaced by a growing anticipation for our arrival in Tecate. We start to see more signs of life along the tracks. A dirt road now runs parallel to the railway, and occasionally a car or a farm truck will pass us by. We cross over a few paved roads, waiting for the crossing gates to come down as the train rumbles past. Kids from the nearby ranches run out to wave at us, their faces full of excitement. It's a friendly, welcoming transition back into the populated world. The final few miles are a gentle, relaxing ride. The sun is high in the sky, and the landscape is bathed in a warm, golden light. The live music on the train has started up again, but this time the songs feel more celebratory, like a prelude to our arrival. Passengers are starting to gather their things, a low buzz of conversation filling the cars as people talk about what they plan to do in Tecate. The 2-hour stopover is a big part of the adventure, and everyone is excited to explore the famous Pueblo Mágico, or Magic Town. The journey is almost over, but a whole new chapter of the adventure is about to begin. And then in the distance, we see it. The first buildings of Tecate start to appear on the horizon. The iconic Tecate Brewery with its large grain silos is one of the first landmarks we spot. The train gives a long, triumphant blast of its horn, announcing our imminent arrival. We're rolling into the outskirts of the town now, passing by residential neighborhoods and small businesses. After a morning spent traveling through history and wilderness, we are arriving at our destination. The platform of the historic Tecate station is just ahead, and a whole town is waiting to be explored. El Parque Miguel Hidalgo is the heart of Tecate. a vibrant plaza where locals gather, families enjoy ice cream, and laughter fills the air. Surrounded by historic buildings and shaded benches, it's a place where time slows down. This park is the soul of the town, radiating warmth, community, and simple joy. El Mejor Pan de Tecate, which means the best bread in Tecate, is a place you just have to visit. The smell of fresh sweetbread pulls in everyone, locals and visitors, to this simple bakery close to the main square. Inside, shelves are packed with colorful conchas, crispy orejas, and pastries filled with cream. You grab a tray, load it up, and watch as your goodies are perfectly wrapped at the counter. Prices are low, so families buy enough for the whole week. This isn't just a bakery, it's a cherished tradition, a part of everyday life here. I try a warm concha on a bench nearby. It's soft, sweet, and amazing, a real taste of Tecate's history. El Mejor Pan de Tecate is more than just a bakery. It's a famous spot, and your trip to Tecate isn't complete without stopping by. With pan dulce in hand, I wander Tecate's streets where vibrant murals tell stories of local history and natural beauty. The Tecate Brewery, founded in 1944, dominates the skyline, a symbol of pride and the town's international claim to fame. As my time winds down, I stroll through peaceful neighborhoods, soaking in the town's relaxed rhythm. Back at the train station, passengers return with bread and souvenirs, faces content from a perfect interlude. Tecate's murals, bakery, and brewery make this stop a memorable highlight of the journey. We board the train for the return to Tijuana, the car filled with the scent of pastries and a golden sunset streaming through the windows. The landscape transforms. Canyons and hills glow in orange and pink, reflected in the shimmering El Carrizo Reservoir. The train's steady rhythm and the tranquil light create a meditative atmosphere. Passengers are quiet, captivated by the scenery, a final visual feast. This sunset ride is a peaceful, unforgettable close to our day-long adventure. Dusk settles outside as the train nears Tijuana, the car aglow with soft lights and quiet satisfaction. Today was more than a scenic tour, it was a journey through history, culture, and community. We started as strangers, but shared stories and laughter turned us into a temporary family. The Tijuana-Tecate train is a living piece of history, connecting people and places in a way few experiences can. As city lights appear, I'm grateful for this adventure, a memory that will last long after the train stops. The train slows to a stop at Estacion Garcia, ending our journey. Passengers gather their bread and memories, content after a day of genuine adventure. This wasn't just a train ride, it was a deep dive into Baja California's heart, from wild landscapes to Tecate's charm. The experience was raw, real, and full of character, a reminder that the best stories are often close to home. As I step off the train, I look back at the cars that carried us through history and community. The Tijuana-Tecate train is more than a route, it's the soul of the region and an adventure I'll never forget. So that's a wrap on our incredible journey on the Tijuana-Tecate tourist train. What a day! We saw so much, we did so much, and we met some amazing people along the way. From the moment that horn first blew in Tijuana to the final sunset ride back through the Golden Hills, it was an unforgettable experience from start to finish. This is exactly the kind of travel I live for. It's not about luxury, it's not about resorts, it's about getting out there, getting your hands a little dirty, and finding the real stories that are all around us, waiting to be discovered. This trip was full of them, at every turn of the track. I hope you felt like you were right there with me, feeling the rumble of the train, tasting the sweet bread from that amazing bakery, and soaking in those epic sunset views. My goal is always to bring you along for the ride, to share these real, unfiltered moments of adventure, because the world is full of incredible places like this, full of history and beauty and life, and I want to explore as many of them as I possibly can, and share them all with you. This journey was a special one, a perfect blend of history, culture, and stunning natural landscapes, a true gem of an adventure. Before I sign off, I just want to say a huge thank you for coming along on this trip. Your support is what makes it possible for me to go out and find these stories. These adventures are so much more fun when I get to share them with this community. So, one last time, thanks for riding with me, Casey. I hope you enjoyed this journey as much as I did. And if you want to make sure you don't miss the next one, you know what to do. Subscribe and join us for more real adventures. There are so many more stories out there to tell. Okay, my work here is done. It's late, I'm tired, but I'm full of inspiration from the day. It's time to head out, find some tacos, and start planning the next adventure. There is always a next adventure. That's the beauty of it. The world is a massive, amazing place, and there's always another train to catch, another road to follow, another story to tell. So stay curious, stay adventurous, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.